Hi everyone, welcome back to Casual Watch Review channel. This week, we've got another loaner from the team over at Citizen. This is one of the new Skyhawk models. It's a bit of a big watch, this one. So I'm very interested to know what your verdict is at the end in the comment section down below. Before we do that, I'm very close to 50,000 subs. So if you're new to the channel, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button and then the notification bell so you know when I'm going to upload next. We also do 2 live streams a week now. Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern, and then the big show, the Sunday Social, on Sunday at 4:30 Eastern US time. We have a great panel on there, including some YouTube celebrities that you might know, but we'd love to see you over there, and you can comment on this watch and some of the news stories from the week live in the comments, and we'll do a live reaction to it. Let's flip the camera around, we'll do the review. As mentioned before, let me know in the comments section down below what you think. What we have here is the ProMaster Air Skyhawk AT. This is the latest addition to the ProMaster Air collection. This watch has a lot to like about it, but there's one thing that we need to address, so let's dive into the review. It is powered by Citizen's EcoDrive technology, which is solar powered, and if you're interested in the caliber number, this one is the U680. This watch, as mentioned in the intro, is a unit. Its case width is 46mm with a lug-to-lug of 50.2. So the lug-to-lug is quite reasonable for the case size. The watch does wear quite well, and that is due to the fact that it's only 13.8mm thick. The bracelet on the watch looks to be integrated, and I think Citizen even say this on their website, but it can be removed, revealing a 22mm lug width. I think you could easily add a leather strap to this, a thinner rubber strap, but I think there's little chance of getting a NATO on here. I think it would be a very tight squeeze, if not impossible. The case, as you'd expect, is made from stainless steel and predominantly features a brushed finish, except for the lateral facets of the watch, which are in a high polish. This contrast complements the polished buttons on the case sides, but does result in a noticeable sheen on the sides, as you can see here. The watch head has a very robust feel and boasts a water resistance rating of 200 meters. The buttons feel purposeful and the crown has an industrial finish, although it is not screw down. The slide ruled bezel is omnidirectional and not ratcheted. I have a friend, TJ, who used a Citizen Navahawk as a naval aviator in Afghanistan. He praised the Citizen watch for the multiple time zones and the constant UTC display like this watch has. His general consensus is the Citizen aviation watches are fantastic, but the slide rule like this bezel has is largely cosmetic. He was telling me that in the military you are trained to work out a lot of these calculations faster in your head, and also when you're experiencing any type of G-force, it would make the tiny markings on this slide rule unreadable. Maybe this would be more useful for recreational pilots. If you're interested to know more about TJ and the fascinating story of using Citizen watches on deployment in the Navy, I'll link to the interview in the description down below. It's fascinating. The dial is officially described as black, but this characterization falls short in capturing its true beauty. While black elements are indeed present, the predominant hue is a deep metallic brown to my eye, which gives the dial a really appealing aesthetic. Despite the dial's apparent complexity, its legibility remains surprisingly high, primarily owing to the well-proportioned hands and clear indices. Notably, the choice of hands is perfect for this watch, with particular praise reserved for the minute hand, which seamlessly extends to the minute track position on the outer periphery of the dial. The lume on this dial is prominent, albeit not as generously applied as we've seen on certain Seiko models. Additionally though, the LCD has its own light, and this performs very well in illuminating the multifunctional display. Here we have it illuminating the world time display, although I think its practicality in illuminating the smaller LCD panel showing your home time zone usefulness may be up for debate. The bracelet on this watch is a tad jangly but comfortable. The press clasp covers a nicely milled clasp mechanism. The push buttons are very secure. The bracelet is adjusted using a pin and collar system, so can easily be adjusted at home if you wanted to have a go. The standout feature, of course, of this watch is the ability to track multiple time zones. The dial features a UTC dial, a separate LCD to track a second time zone, and an indication of the current time zone, here set to New York. It is a big learning curve when you first get the watch, but thankfully Citizen have a nice video on how to set the watch. I tried to go solo on this, but couldn't work out how to change the name time. In the end, I worked out you had to do a combination to swap the world time to your home time. All the features are scrolled through via the crown. This is not as intuitive, I don't think, as it could be, because you have to pull the crown out to the first position, making you think that you're going to accidentally stop the watch, which of course you don't end up doing if you pull the crown all the way out. But as we've trained with other watches, pulling out to the first position is usually the date setting. The first position allows you to scroll the mode. I do think a button might be easier. The crown scrolls through the watch's additional features, and those are the ability to synchronize with the atomic clock. This watch synchronizes with your local mast, and as I've shown on the channel before, there is apps to do this on your phone if you struggle to get reception. The handy feature with this is that you don't need to use the crown to set the watch. It will set itself automatically, making sure you always have the accurate time. There is a stopwatch, which is a 1/100th second chronograph, which measures up to 24 hours, 2 alarms, and then a 99-minute countdown timer. All of this data is viewed on the LCD. This LCD is clear, but it might be hard to read if you do have vision difficulties. Thankfully, Citizen do a good job of putting sapphire crystal on these professional models, so this adds to the scratch resistance and hardness of the glass. So let's address the elephant in the room, and that is the size of this watch. We've already been over the dimensions, but here you can see it on my 7.2-inch wrist. This is a large watch. It is very wearable due to the fact that it isn't really that heavy, despite what its dimensions might lead you to believe, and it is thinner, and of course with it being quartz, that typically reduces the weight of watches. But I think if you've got a wrist my size, 7.2 inches, or maybe a bit bigger, then I think you'll have no problem pulling this watch off. But if you do have smaller wrists, I think this could dominate your wrist. It is spanning my wrist, maybe a little bit big for me as well. But if you enjoy those bigger watches, or you need ability to see multiple time zones at once, this watch is perfect for that. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. This is on its way back to Citizen, so a big thanks to them for lending me in the watch. Leave a comment down below on your thoughts on this watch, or if you want to give your thoughts in real time, we stream on Tuesday evenings at 7:30 p.m. Eastern and on Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Eastern US time. So join in the panel discussion and let us know your thought on the watch news stories of this week and any of the watches that I've reviewed on the channel. If you're new to the channel, I'd love it if you're subscribed. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Casual Watch Reviews.